Some stories don't end when someone dies. Sometimes they just wait, quietly, for the right time to be found again. When Helen Parker's husband, George, passed away, her world went quiet. They had been married 42 years. Not perfect years, but real ones. Mornings with coffee and crossword puzzles, evenings watching the sunset from the porch swing. When he died, he left her a letter. Simple, handwritten, folded neatly in an envelope marked, "For Helen." She read it 100 times in those first few months. It was short, gentle. "My love," it began, "thank you for giving me a good life. Don't cry too long. Keep the garden blooming for me." It ended with one line she carried in her heart. "I'll always be watching from the garden." After reading it, she smiled through tears. It was exactly the kind of thing George would write. Sweet, simple, no drama. She tucked it inside her nightstand and thought that was the end of the story. But one spring morning, a year later, she was cleaning out the attic, dust dancing in the sunlight, when she found something strange. In an old shoebox marked Christmas cards, there was another envelope, addressed in George's familiar handwriting. The same words, "For Helen." Her heart skipped. "Another one," she whispered. She opened it carefully. Inside was a letter, similar but not the same. This one began the same way. But halfway through, the words changed. "My love, if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it through the surgery. There's something I never told you, not because I didn't trust you, but because I wanted to protect you." Helen froze, her breath caught between grief and disbelief. She read on. "You remember the trip I took to Chicago in 1975? I told you it was for work. It wasn't. I went to see someone. A woman named Claire Helen felt her chest tighten. "Oh, George," she whispered. "Before you think the worst," the letter continued, "know this. She wasn't my lover. She was your sister." Helen blinked, stunned. Her sister Margaret had died young, before George ever came into her life. She read the next line slowly, her hands trembling. Claire was the name she went by after she left home. "She didn't die, Helen. She asked me not to tell you." The attic seemed to spin around her. The letter ended with one final line. "Some truths are too heavy for the living, but now it's time you knew." Helen sat in silence, surrounded by dust, holding two letters, one full of love, the other full of truth. To be continued. Helen couldn't breathe. Her sister, alive, and her husband had known. She sat for hours, the two letters lying side by side. Two goodbyes from the same man, but one written to comfort, and one written to confess. That evening, she called her daughter, Mary. "Mom?" "What's wrong?" Helen's voice shook. "Your father, he kept something from me. From us, Mary came over the next morning. They read the second letter together. Silence filled the kitchen, the same room where George once laughed, where every memory still lived." "Do you think it's true?" Mary whispered. Helen nodded slowly. "I think your father only lied because he thought it would protect me." Over the next week, Helen searched old records, letters, hospital files. And finally she found it, a name that matched, a nursing home just an hour away. Her hands trembled as she dialed the number. "Good morning, Rosewood Care Home," said a nurse. "How can I help you?" "I'm looking for a woman named Claire Hastings," Helen said. I believe she might be my sister." The line went quiet. "One moment, please." After a long pause, the nurse said softly, "She's here. And she's been asking about you for years." Tears streamed down Helen's face. She's alive, she whispered. After all this time. The next day, Helen went to meet her. The nursing home was quiet, sunlight spilling through lace curtains. An elderly woman sat by the window, her eyes familiar, like a reflection from another lifetime. "Helen," the woman whispered. Her voice was frail but filled with recognition. Helen reached out, taking her sister's trembling hands. "You left," she said softly. "You let me believe you were gone." Claire nodded. "I had to. I was sick back then. I didn't want to burden you." "George found me years later," she continued. "He visited sometimes." "Promised to tell you when the time was right." Helen smiled sadly. "He waited too long, but I understand." They sat together for hours, sharing stories, laughter through tears, remembering the man who had carried both their secrets. Moral: love sometimes hides the truth to protect the living. It may bend honesty, but never breaks loyalty. Because real love doesn't just say goodbye, it keeps you safe, even from pain. Thank you for listening to The Second Letter. Have you ever learned a truth that changed how you saw someone you loved? Share your story below. Your words might help someone find peace today. Subscribe for more emotional, true-life stories about love, forgiveness, and the secrets we keep to protect the ones we cherish. Until next time, remember, the truth may hurt, but love makes it easier to hold.